What was it like growing up in a legendary family like yours when it came to horse racing?
My dad was an incredible worker. He really never gave an inch. He was up extremely early and went to bed extremely early, and he did nothing but work at this game. My brothers and I, at a very young age, were out at the track, and I think it's been an obsession for all of us, for all the Dutrows.
How important is the men and women that work under these chevros that take care of these horses?
They're incredibly important. They're incredibly important, and they're not
Watch horse coming up.
They are. They're so underpaid, but you can't pay them enough. It's a challenge, but it's the love for the horse. That's why almost all of us are here. That's how almost all of us got here, is for the love of the horse. So many of us are forgiving with our paychecks because we love what we're doing, but they're so underpaid. And they're so incredibly important.
And you know, what made the old time horsemen like your dad and guys that from that era so special when it came to training horses?
I think it's just a walk of life. I think that generations before were just much tougher than today's generation. I think it just gets that way. Every generation just finds it a little easier here in America. You know, we're pretty kind to our citizens here in America, and the people that helped build America, they had to be rough and tough. So I don't think it's today's generation, future generations' fault that they are the way they are, but it was just different in the past. They had to be rough and tough.
And can you tell me about some of the old time black grooms that used to be under these chevros?
Well, I'm colorblind. I'm colorblind. So, but back in the day when I was a kid, there was a lot of black grooms, and once again, they just loved the horses. They did a fantastic job. They were very unique at taking care of their horses. They were part horse. It was a bond. It was a bond between them and their horse, and they knew they were naturals at it. But once again, I'm colorblind.
Did you have a mentor besides somebody in your family that when you got to the backside that kind of showed you some stuff, or it was just family business?
I almost all my stuff comes from my dad. How can it? But I have tried to study the game, and I have tried to pay attention to the successful horsemen in this game, and I could name a dozen names, and I have superior respect for them. But I've tried to watch and learn from them, and of course you figure out things on your own. You can't really duplicate Billy Mott or Shug McGahee or Chad Brown or Todd Pletcher or Wayne Lucas, but you can learn from them, and you hope that what you learn from them you can put into practice your way that works.
You know, what's the biggest difference in the game yesterday versus today?
The soundness of the animal. Today's racehorse, and this will be argued, but I go back 55 years. Today's racehorse can't take what yesterday's racehorse could, as far as soundness goes. Back in the day, we could get 20 starts a year, 30 starts a year. Now we get a half a dozen starts a career. I don't want to blame anything for that. There's so many variables that I could say play a part into it. But the biggest difference I see in the game today is the horse can't get many starts. The careers aren't very long.
Right, if you could change one thing in racing, what would that be?
Cheaters.
Thank you.
No cheaters. No cheater. If you're thinking about cheater, give me your badge. I want your badge. If you're thinking about it. If you're doing it, well, then there's just nothing. There's no place for you. But for horse racing's integrity, like boxing, I think we've all seen boxing decline. We've all thought that there was shenanigans in boxing, and it's not what it once was. And I hope horse racing doesn't go that way because of the cheaters. And don't get me wrong, I have no. If I wasn't in the game, I would still say, if there's something to be changed, I would like to see the cheaters not in the game.